What's happening, YouTube? Today I'm out here sitting on my back porch looking out at the Chesapeake Bay, and I am just anxiously waiting the cobia to arrive right here on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel and coming into the lower bay, and I'm just getting super stoked for the cobia season to take off. Hopefully you guys are too. Anyways, you guys, so I've got some footage last year of us with a cobia that we caught, and we actually did a tutorial of how to fillet it. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna roll this clip, and we're gonna show you guys how to fillet a cobia. All right, here we go.
The first cut right here.
So the first cut's gonna be right behind the
pectoral fin.
Right behind the pectoral fin.
Angling it toward the head.
Okay.
Try to get right behind the head so you don't miss any of that right there. So next cut, I'm gonna follow this as close to the spine as possible.
Okay.
It's actually safer to have a sharper knife,
right,
than it is to have a dull knife.
Right.
So I'm just going under the skin, like just barely.
Okay.
Not too deep.
Okay.
All the way, like so. So I'm trying to stay as close to those vertical bones coming up off of the spine.
Right.
As much as possible.
Yep.
So you can hear that?
Yep.
That I'm pushing down.
Right.
Towards
the spine.
The spine. Like a tiny little bit of cutting.
Right.
I'm not cutting deep every time I go through. So I'm getting over the spine now. I don't know if you can see that right there. There it is. See that?
Sure. So as y'all can see, that spine is super
thick. I'm
so
still trying to go over it.
Cutting over top of it.
I gotta lift a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of do the same thing I did here.
So John just flipped it over. Now he's making just another incision on the other side.
There you go. I've seen it done two ways. So the vent hole is right here, and I've seen people go from here to the vent, but they miss a lot of meat, right? A lot of the rib meat, and actually cobia rib meat is pretty good. So I'm just gonna go down the belly like this and meet where the first initial cut went through. You see how that opened it up?
Yeah.
I can just probably go ahead and gut it right now. I don't want to puncture it and then get all this stuff onto the meat that we're gonna end up eating.
Okay, so what John did is John made one incision from here, but you said some people go from the here up, right? So as to avoid the guts.
Right, so you can see the line that I made.
Yeah.
Some people go from this spot right here and totally avoid all of the meat. Because they don't want to deal with all the guts, which is what I just took out, and it was fairly easy. So typically, I mean, sushi, right?
Yeah.
The best cuts of a fish that's being used for sushi is right there.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, that's the fattiest part.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go follow that cut that I just made, and again ride that bone, and I'm gonna meet the backbone on the other side.
Yeah, where you were just cutting.
Yeah. You see how I just went through? That's free. Right.
So John has this really nice looking fillet. As you can see, we have no meat right here. This is not a flounder. This is a much different type of fillet. Yeah. It's a multi-step process. It's very easy, but you do have to, as you can see, John's just kind of taking his time, and as you can see, this is a really nice fillet.
And now the fillet is free. I made that initial cut. I started working just the tip of the blade of my knife towards the spine, and you can see how the spine comes up. It's like really thick right here. So what I do is I work my blade towards the tip of like that part of the spine. I could feel it actually when I don't even have to lift it up and look at it. I could just feel it that I'm hitting the spine. And when I do, that's when I start lifting up, and then I coming up and over these the vertebra. And then what I did was I outlined the other side right here just under the skin, and then I did the same thing, just started working the blade, making sure that I'm staying up against this backbone right here. The initial cut that I made on the first side, I'm gonna make that on the second side, right? So I'm gonna go behind the pectoral fin right here, and I'm gonna aim for the top of the head right there, where basically where the head meat starts.
Yep.
I'm gonna finish that cut right there. Get all that meat. Just outline like how I want the fillet to look at its edges, pretty much. Working it, staying up against that spine, up against that backbone, up and over.
There it is.
There it is.
Fillet number 2 right there, and that is a totally, look at that. That's all that's left of that cobia.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see right there.
That's your fillet right there.
That is a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat. So I'm cutting the rib out right there. But this fillet is so thick, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut down the middle and then cut all these out. So what I'll do is I'll start from here, right? And then I have the bones right here. So I'm gonna stay on one side of the bone. So I'm gonna stay on the, this is the top side of the fillet, bottom side. I'm gonna stay on the top side of the pin bones so that I can cut them out. So you got a feel for the pin bones. They kind of come up this line right here.
Right.
So that's gonna be the top loin right there, right?
That is an awesome looking fillet right there.
Yeah, isn't it? Dude, all right, what I'm gonna do is cut the fillet in half. I'm gonna have a tail section and then the front section, right? I'm gonna cut all the way through, just so it's easier to deal with.
Oh, look at that fillet.
Yeah.
Look at how thick that is.
Yeah. So we still have the pin bones right here on the bottom half, and I'm gonna stay on the bottom side of the pin bones and cut that out. There's a little bit of a bloodline anyway. You can see it right there. It's the,
Yep.
the little red meat.
Yep.
But what I'm doing is just taking out and the reason why I use the cutting board is because I don't want to dull the knife on the
granite.
granite. So there's the red meat. That's what some people would have otherwise tossed away. And this is your top loin fillet.
Look at that.
Yeah. This is the longer blade. What I like about this blade, I'm gonna use this one for skinning. It's flexible, right? So it actually will get closer to the skin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on this side. The red meat can be foul tasting. So what I'll do now is I'll stake it out. I'll just, I don't know, 4 fingers wide, I guess.
All right, y'all. So there it is. Cobia fillets ready for the grill. Caught right there, Chesapeake Bay. There's Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. John, awesome job.